Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. I have with me Mush. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Long time. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We have a lot of boxing to discuss. Sorry for all those watching for the slight lack of boxing news-related videos. Anyway, there's been a lot of interviews coming out. I've got some exciting ones that have been released or will be released as well. So please keep an eye out for those as well. Just been super busy with those and other stuff as well on the channel. Okay, let's go straight into the heavyweights because I mean this clearly is a very hot division at the moment, and it seems, according to Bob Arum and Andy Hearn, that we're pretty much 95% of the way to confirming AJ Fury or Fury AJ, however you want to put it. It looks like it's going to be in the Middle East, and there was doubts upon whether it would be for the WBO belt, but that looks to have been put to bed. Not completely, but it looks like the WBO have sanctioned it, so it looks like it's going to be for Undisputed as well. Are you happy that it's Undisputed, or did you think it wouldn't have really mattered that much?
I, obviously, it's good that it's been done for the Undisputed, but I don't think it really matters that much. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think if that belt wasn't there, it'd take anything away from the fight. But
yeah, I
having
feel
it obviously makes it that tiny bit better.
yeah, 100%. I feel like it's just the cherry on the top, isn't it? It doesn't
Yeah,
really. We know whoever wins that fight is clearly going to be the undisputed number one. It's just it's a good accolade to have, and he'll be the first person since Lennox Lewis or whatever it is. So
yeah.
that'll be quite cool. I guess the WBO belt, the reason why it is going to be on the line partly is because it looks like we're going to get Usyk versus Joyce, and that will be for the
Very good
interim
fight.
belt. Yeah, that's a very good fight for the interim belt. And most likely, what will happen is I can see the first fight happening, and then whoever wins that fight will just drop the WBO belt because they'll have a second fight, and then either the winner of Usyk Joyce will be elevated to
Elevated.
champion, I'd assume, or they fight for the vacant belt. But I'm assuming they'll just become elevated champ. What do you think of Usyk Joyce? Because are you a little bit surprised, I guess, firstly, that Usyk is happy potentially to take this fight? And two,
Um,
he's been kind of picked as an overwhelming favourite if it does happen. Are you surprised by that?
Not really. I think Usyk kind of gets the whole angle about Undisputed, and I don't know. There might be some assurances that he'd be, one of the next in line to fight the winner once, AJ and Fury episode is over. So I kind of do get it. But at the same time, I thought they were going to be like quite not difficult, but they would have wanted their world title shot as soon as, and they would have kind of pressed with the WBO. But I mean, if it's going to be like an interim fight and were they to win, they kind of automatically become WBO after the Fury AJ fight, then you kind of get it. So it's just one of those weird ones. I guess he's just he's been they've given him an agreement that he's happy with, and just moves on. And
Yeah.
in terms of what did you say that Usyk has been made a favorite against Joyce?
Yeah, I think most people are saying that he'll be an odds-on favorite. I guess because in the WBS, which was the over 5 rounds, he beat him obviously, and
Yeah,
given their current trajectory since, Usyk's been undisputed champion at cruiserweight. I think there's mixed views upon how good he has been at heavyweight, how good he's looked.
yeah.
And Joyce has had an impressive win over Dubois, but even then, I think people are still kind of would pick Usyk from what I've seen. So you're surprised a little bit by that?
Not surprised. I would think Usyk is the favorite, but I don't think he's a heavy favorite or anything, because I think from their fighting amateurs, I think Joyce has improved a lot. Whether or not he's improved to to be like an absolute world beater, I think it's still a little early to tell. But um, yeah, I'd lean towards Usyk because I think there's a lot more to see from him at heavyweight.
Yeah, it's a really intriguing matchup just because obviously Joyce has got that iron chin, but Usyk doesn't punch particularly hard, it seems, anyway, at heavyweight. And Usyk's got very good feet, but then Joyce clearly has a very good jab. and he'll be the bigger man going in there. Like
Yeah,
height-wise, reach-wise, weight-wise, he will be bigger.
it'll
And
be very interesting.
yeah, and he's a little
He
bit
actually has
more.
he actually has a very good he
Look
actually
on.
has a very good chance.
Yeah, I think he does.
I think.
Because I think he's a little bit more plodding than someone like Derek Chisora, but I feel like his boxing IQ is a lot better than someone like Derek Chisora, and he's got that Olympic background and pedigree, and I do feel that he's the type of person that his engine's very good as well over 12 rounds.
Yeah,
So I think it will be a close fight. I don't think it's going to be. I'd be surprised if we see a knockout in that. I feel like it's going to be a
yeah,
points decision.
it'll be a points.
Yeah, and I reckon it'll be closer than people think. So I feel like that's a bit of a pick and fight. So I'm really looking forward to
I'd
it. I think.
say I'd say I'd say that's like a 60-40 fight. You know, when people say 50-50, I'd say that's like a 60-40 in Usyk's favor.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't write Joyce off. Because yeah, like you said, his engine is unbelievable. He has a chin, so I'll be very surprised if Usyk can stop him. And he can keep up. He can pretty much keep up. He's so one paced, but not in a bad way. Like he can keep up pressure through 12 rounds, like we've seen.
Yeah, 100%. I think Joyce is clearly the type of fighter that has just come forward, but constant pressure. And I think he creates pressure just by his feet. And even though his feet aren't particularly quick, but he cuts off the ring quite well. And Usyk obviously is a very good mover. So I think that'll be quite good. I think their styles will gel pretty well. We'll see. And then obviously you've got AJ and Fury on the other hand. I won't press you for predictions. We've done that before. And I think we can probably do more detailed analysis closer to the fight. But are you a little bit, before we wrap up, are you a little bit disappointed that most likely it's going to be in the Middle East? I mean, in my view, I'm just thinking it's because of the situation here in the UK. It's not particularly good. I doubt we'd get a crowd. We definitely wouldn't get a full capacity crowd in somewhere like Wembley or
Exactly.
Principality Stadium. So, and the fighters, I think they said, look, would you rather have 100 million in the Middle East or 50 million in the UK? As a fighter, they're going to take that, especially for the first fight anyway, so they can kind of just secure it. So, I mean, for
I
me,
think as long as
I'm
there's,
okay with it, but I feel like it'll still be a good time zone anyway. Last time they did it quite well, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of not being in the UK at the moment, I don't think it's that much of an issue. Like you said, as long as the timing of the fights, UK orientated, I don't think it's that much of an issue. Like your 10, 11 p.m, that's fine. And I mean, if they do two, as long as one of the two is in the UK, I think that'll do. I'll definitely try and get tickets to that. I haven't been to a fight in such a long time. So yeah, that would be a incredible way to get back on. Yeah, like you said, because you can't get crowds. It's not like you can have 1,000 people at Wembley Arena for that fight, are you? They're going to try and want to get as big as a crowd as they can, and if they can do that in the Middle East, then fair enough.
Yeah, on a big site for you as well, I think so. Yeah, I agree with you. I think hopefully we can get the second one here anyway. That'd be good. Let's see. Fingers crossed we do. But at least we're getting the fight. I think I remember you said to me that you didn't think it would happen next. I think you said most likely Usyk next, and then they'd maybe look at it then. So I'm glad that I was optimistic in the sense that, and luckily I was right in this case anyway, that it seems like it's going to happen next. I mean, obviously it's still not done and dusted, so anything can happen. But by the looks of it, it looks like it's pretty much done. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks, I think, was broadcasting issues. But I think it seems, from what people have been talking about, and it seems the most sensible option, because it's two fights, they'll just split it, as in, so the first fight, for example, could be on Sky Sports and ESPN, say, for example, and then the second one would be on, say, BT and DAZN. And that's kind of how they do it. And that makes sense, right? Because clearly, I don't think it'd work if you had it showing on both platforms and they want to maximize it, the revenue, etc. And I think the broadcasters as well would be like, we don't really want to share it because it doesn't really make it much sense. And people have favorites in terms of commentators and whatnot. So I think maybe they're just thinking that's the best way to do it. And I feel like that's probably the most reasonable way to do it. And it's a good workaround, I think. So it's good. It's good times for that anyway, at least. So fingers crossed, we get it. Yeah.
Sorry, one sec.
Yeah. Before we
Go
wrap
ahead.
up, then on this topic, anything else you want to touch upon?
No, I just can't wait for it to happen. To be honest,
Yeah.
like I was skeptical from the beginning. Not skeptical in like a bad way, but I just thought, with everything,
Too good
like
to
the
be
way this,
true.
yeah, especially when they like say it quite boldly, like they did whenever it was. I think it was in the summer where they said that they'd agreed it, and we've all been there and seen it fall apart. So yeah, I'm just glad it's getting closer and can't wait.
Yeah, I think boxing is so political. So as you said, that's I think rightly so. You probably were a bit skeptical. I'm a bit optimistic. And I'm like, it's fine, it'll happen. And I think maybe the reason why it's happening as well is because there's just too much money on the table for everyone to ignore. So, everyone just wants to realistically cash in on it.
And they've probably kind of been burnt before, like with the whole AJ Wilder situation. I think they've kind of learned from that, which is good.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, thanks very much, Mush, on this. And guys, if you haven't already, please make sure you do like, comment, and share the video. It does help, and subscribe. Thank you very much for being on, Musharraf. And yeah, thanks, guys. Stay safe.